Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to the Patchwork Challenge for the Germany DLC on Railway Empire. We have one remaining task to do before we move on to the next set of tasks, because you just know there's going to be another 10 years worth of tasks to come. We have to connect 750,000 people to the rail network, and we currently have about 90,000 less than we need. But we do have plenty of towns that we can connect to. So we have this whole territory up here that we've recently purchased, each one with a whole load of towns available for us to build in, as you can see. Actually, we've gone a bit too far. If we go down to something we can build in, let's have a look. Let's see just how many we've got. So we've got one town here that we still haven't connected to. We've got a town over here that we still haven't connected to. And Weimar's actually looking to improve a little bit as well, which is quite nice. We've got two towns down here and a third down here as well. I think connecting all three of these... Oh, a fourth one there, look. We've got Ulm down there as well. I think connecting these up could certainly give us quite a nice little boost. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, how do I want to go ahead with my connections? And I think what I'm going to do to start with is I'm actually going to take a little bit of track out just here. So if I take these bits of track out and put them back in on the other two platforms up here, like so. We don't have to worry about changing routing of platforms because we have an auto-routing platform or an auto-routing station just there. But now that means we can have a connection running off here, across here to Karlsruhe without any major obstacles or issues. Karlsruhe is an interesting looking little station, and then we can kind of run down the side here. Running a connection out the other side could be a bit trickier, so what I want to try and do here, again, I'm going to go with the large stations. I just find these make things so much easier. We don't have to worry about allocating to specific tracks, and you don't have to worry about lots and lots of trains stacking up waiting to get in on a single platform. I just find these auto-routing, auto-signal platforms and stations really, really handy. I'm going to place the station there like that, at that angle, so that I can run a train out and in on the first two tracks just here, and then I can bring one out on the other two tracks, the bottom two, bring that around here towards Stuttgart, and then out the back here we've got an option where we can run a pair of tracks down this way, and if we want to we can also run a pair of tracks back across the river this way, and then we can set up a connection between Saarbrücken and Karlsruhe. So let's put in our first bits of track, because we can't put another station down until these are connected. So let's get this one up and running over here first of all. What we'll do is we'll probably end up moving our signal tower or supply tower a little bit, depending on how well these tracks kind of sit next to each other. It's going to have to go in at quite a sharp angle. So we put a connection like that. Oops. Of course, it's given us a bit of a wobble there. Can I get this to straighten out a bit better? Get those to kind of curve in around like that, perhaps, and then let's see if we can play around with the bridge a little bit. That's not too bad. A little 2% gradient there. Let's shorten the bridge quite dramatically, so that's going to save us a fair bit of cash. I mean, not that we're really struggling financially at the moment, but it's always a good idea not to spend money if we don't have to, I suppose. Let's drop those in there. Put a parallel track in around there. There we go. And now if I go to my signalling, all the signals over here have been taken out, haven't they? Because we put brand new track in. That's fine. But if we start to look at where we want our signals to go, I reckon they're like that. I'm going to need to mess things around a little bit, but hopefully I should be able to kind of just, if I'm, yeah, it's not quite going to go, is it? Alright, let's rework this ever so slightly. So we need that to definitely be touching about there. It's going to make that quite a sharp turn for the inside track. It might not like it. Oh, we're okay. We can get away with that. Now I should be able to put a supply... Yeah, there we go. Put a supply tower just here. There we go. And I can take that one out and put signals back in their place instead. Like so. There we go. All the signals over here accidentally got auto dropped in, and they're a bit of a mess. So we need to sort this out. Again, we've got staggered signals, which always seems to happen around bridges. It's a bit frustrating, but it is what it is. Let's try this again. Alright, so it's a spacing issue. Let's err on the side of caution when it comes to the spacing on these. Let's take those out. And I probably want to go about there and there. Just going to end up having to place all of these manually, I can tell. Go there and there. And then there's space on this to move those forward a bit to there and there as well. So that hopefully will be okay space-wise. We've added in the population of Karlsruhe. At the moment isn't much. And you can see we've got Freiburg down here. And that's a city in decline. We desperately need to give them a little bit of a boost. I'm just going to put in a small station, I think. At the moment there's no real need for a really large station. I suppose I could get away with just a... I could get away with just a single track station, but I like these auto routers, these auto signal stations, so we'll stick with those. Get a nice long run over here. In fact, that's quite a long run, isn't it? Let's put a maintenance station in between. Probably do one over here as well somewhere, but we'll put one in this pass over here. I kind of want it in a position where I can route either side if I want to, because again there's no reason why we can't connect Freiburg up to Saarbrücken over there. If we put that station there, it's not quite equidistant, but it'll do. It's close enough. Do that, and do this, and we're going to pull this in a little bit. There we go. And these lines, which I'm on the bottom line here, aren't I? These lines can merge over here. Again, we want to try and reduce that bridge as best we can. We certainly do not want to be paying extortionate prices for bridges unless we absolutely have to. Actually, let me take that out for a second. Try and straighten the track up. There we go. That's much better. No bad gradients to deal with. Nice sweeping curve and a short bridge. That's perfect. Bring this connection around. Get that partnered up there. Excellent stuff. Now, theoretically, I don't actually have to put any tracks coming off here. I'm not going to for now, but as this connection starts to get busier, then we will potentially look at routing those trains along here. At the moment, we can just get away with just the two. And then we can also then, from this point here, we can look at connecting this way. And again, we want to have a little bit of space for trains to pass each other. In this sort of loop over here, right up against the bridge here, which might make that angle a little bit problematic. There we go. At the same time, I don't want that to be too shallow either. Let me just switch this across and let's do the outside, the cross tracks first. That might be easier. There we go. Now we should have a nice straightforward little loop just here, or a little junction there. Excellent stuff. Of course, we're not going to have a maintenance run up through here. I might put one in just here actually, because this is quite a long run through here. Let's look at that. Let's take this track out here. And we'll do the same just below that. Now, this is going to be a bit trickier to put in. I really wish we could kind of drop these over the top of existing track where possible. Oh, wow, that's actually a bit longer than I thought it was going to be. Okay, that's more of an issue than I was expecting. I'm going to have to take quite a bit of track out to do this. There we go. This is where I want that fine rotation control again. So I can get this lined up pretty much spot on. This is so fiddly, trying to get this angle just right. Just have to tap the the buttons and hope. Okay, we can get away with this. If I place that there, now it's a question of gradient, as to whether or not the gradients are going to be out of control. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Okay, so let's not do that then. I think the best way to, I think we'll just take that out. Let's just go back to the track that we had, and we'll make do with what we had. So we'll just connect everything back up like that. It's going to be an easier way for us to deal with this. So we'll just do it like that. There we go. Of course, that does mean I need to re-signal these bits of track here. No real surprise there, I suppose. There we go. So that's affected the repair there. Let's signal up this bit of track. And then signal up this bit here as well. And over here. There we go. Oops. We can get 2 sets in here if we're careful, I think. Possibly. Then again, maybe not. Let's just play it safe. Let's just stick 1 in the centre. There we go. Yep. No space there. No space there. Alright, what about this stretch here? Can definitely drop in some signals along here. Definitely don't want one there. That's going to be an issue. And that's a very long stretch of track there. Let's place them there instead. There we go. And that way we've got a little bit of clearance space from our junction to the signal. Alright, so we've got that bit signalled in. Got to do the same over here. And again, at the moment we have very little traffic, so we can just get away with, you know, merging into this line here. But going forward, these tracks could just run parallel and go into the station here if traffic on these lines gets quite busy. So it gives us a little bit of sort of a bit of options really going forward. A little bit of creative freedom, I suppose. Signals there and there. Take that out. And then signal up this over here. Of course, you know, these towns are all in a pretty low value state at the moment in terms of population and supplies and everything, really. So we're going to have to do a bit of work to kind of maybe boost these a little bit as well. Let's take a look at our current population now. 690,000. Got some points to spend. Not much to spend them on at the moment. Is there anything specific I was saving up for? Can't remember. That would be quite nice to have, but it's not that important. We may as well take that train. And then we can try and get the Class 3B, which would be quite a nice one to have, actually. Looking at the speed there, 41 miles an hour, 98%. That's going to be, I think, our fastest freight train available. And it's a mixed train, but we could use it, you know, exclusively for freight. Yeah, we'll push on towards that next train there. That'll be quite nice. Ooh, got an inventor. Nice. And a market crier. Don't really need a market crier. We're not running any passengers. So how many points do we need? We need 200, and we're up to 154 already. So almost ready to get that new engine already. That's quite nice. Over here, I have a town over there that I can connect to. I've also got Weimar, which is actually improving. We needed to get this one connected up. This one will chip in a nice little bit of extra population. Again, we'll go with a station with signal routing. We'll go like that because these top two tracks, we're going to link these in if we can. Oh, maybe we can't because of that business in the way. I was thinking of linking them in about here, but it doesn't look as though that's going to be possible. Okay, so if we go over the top and try and do it there, see if I can get in. Trying to figure out how to do this without spending too much money and where I want to pop my tracks in. I suppose ideally I'd want them in here before the supply tower. It's not, again, it's not an ideal positioning. I hate the way it keeps doing that and distorting the track. You get it all laid out nicely and then you drop in something to change the height and it just goes bleh and throws it anywhere you don't want it. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. Right. God damn it again. Just wanted to tweak the position ever so slightly. Oh, it's bugging the hell out of me. Trying to make that curve a little bit more gradual. And I know it's going to ping any second. If I put a stop there, I should stop it from doing it. There we go. That gets rid of the bridge, keeps the curve under control, keeps the gradients nice and easy and gentle. Link this around the edge and then connect in that way. And now we've got the ability here to run a direct freight connection between our two towns if we want to. And what I can also do, I'm going to have to upgrade this station here. Like that. And then these tracks are going to need to change quite dramatically. I need to bring these in this way. Put in a crossing just here. We'll need to do the same there. Just let that go through. Put those signals back in. There we go. And now I can run a connection down this way and bring those lines in just here. That's the top line, isn't it? Let's do the bottom line first. I was waiting for that to happen. Ah, god damn it. Every time. There we go. Right, that's better. And now I can get pigs delivered into Weimar. Instead of just relying on carts, I can actually make some money out of the process. Let's drop our signals in. We probably won't run that much traffic on these lines, if I'm honest. I just want to try and get the connections in to start with, but it's always a good idea, I think, just to signal them, just in case you do start running traffic on them. Because at least then you don't have to go back in and go, oh, damn it, why isn't anything working? Oh, it's because I forgot to signal everything earlier. So, just spend a little bit of time now so you don't have to in the future, kind of thing. Are those signals all spaced? I see again, the spacing is very weird. Sometimes the auto spacing is more hassle than it's worth. There we go. You see, I've managed to get an extra set of signals in there by actually doing it a little bit more manually. And we can fine-tune that if we need to. There's quite a big gap there. Let's just bring those back a little bit. Oops. Just to give us a little bit more of a gap. Not 100% convinced that'll be enough. There we go. Right. Now we're up to 718,000. So we just need to get a little bit more population growth. We've got a bonus in Stuttgart. Oh, it's a connection bonus. And we need to connect down here anyway. So, yeah, that's a bonus. That's perfect. Let's see. Where would I go from Stuttgart? There's a town there in Ulm. We'd kind of need to go through the mountain for that. That's going to be very expensive. Which way do I connect station-wise? Looking at the goods that are around, I think if we go... go like that. Let's just spin it round that way. That could work. Okay, so let's run our lines over to Karlsruhe. Try and sort out these curves a bit better. There we go. Make them a little bit more natural, a little bit of a better angle to them as well. 4% gradient there. Yeah, we'll just go like that. Take that middle bit out. There we go. Nice little extra 390,000. Again, we don't really need it at this stage, but it does give us a nice little bit of extra population without having to really work for it, which is nice. Swing around. Let's drop our signals in. Spacing looks okay. I know there's no supply towers on any of these routes. That's fine. What are we up to population-wise now? 737, 738. So we only need a little bit of growth, and we're there. So let's see. What can we start to do business-wise? We need grain to go in there. I've got some grain over there. One of our towns is growing. It's Weimar is growing. Excellent. Let's run a pig train. Let's check the platform that we're running from. Definitely want to run from platform 2. Look how much freight is going through on platform 1 as a default, because that's where all the pig trains launch from. And we'll add in a class F. Get that running. Come down here. See, our grain is all the way over here. In fact, is that even in our territory? No, it's not. So we don't even have a nearby grain supply. That's not good. I've got meat, and there's a meat connection there which I can run through. Again, also needs grain. I think we might have to take some of these businesses out and swap them over. I'm just looking to see about a brewery. I've got hops over there, you see. Doesn't make any sense for Karlsruhe to have a bakery when there's another one back there, and there's a bakery right next door just there, and no quick and easy way to get the grain there without going through Worms. It's just a long route. Yeah. So I think if we buy the bakery in here and then tear it down. This is where having quite a bit of cash helps, to be able to just arbitrarily just go in and buy a business and then just rip it out and put something else in. And we want a brewery. So let's plonk a brewery just there. Let's connect up our hops, which is over here. And we can run in over here, nice and comfortably. There we go, just kind of cut the edge of the mountain a little bit. Let's put our passing line on. And connect. There we go. Get a nice little bit of distance away to try and match the other line. Let's go there and there. That's again quite a big gap there, but no, we'll leave it as is for now. It's fine. Let's get some hops running in here. As soon as we start producing in Karlsruhe, we can immediately then kind of start shipping beer out to our other towns, and that'll help boost the population of those towns. We've got wood over here. Wood's a good way for us to get some extra income. Well, not so much income, but also some extra growth. It's one of those basic commodities that generates growth in all towns. So we'll go with a 2-track station. And I want to connect in bit too extreme there. Let's try and make that a bit easier. There we go. A bit shallower. I've got that business there. I could divert around. I think that's probably going to be easier, because then it gives me the opportunity to connect sort of underneath that way, and then I can also branch trains out that way if I need to as well. That'll do, I think. That was the bottom track, so that needs to be the top track. Over here. There we go. So I'll stretch this out a little bit. I want to try and avoid bridges. Let's push that out a little bit more. Drop it down a bit just to again to avoid the bridge forming over here. That'll do. Drop that in. Connect up. And this is why I want a double track. Not because of just the ease of this bit, but I want to be able to run trains from here to multiple cities. So I want to be able to spread the load across the two separate platforms rather than having a lot of trains stacking up waiting to get in here, you know, or heading off into different directions. If we have trains here, you know, loading at the same time, then it's less time for other trains to queue up waiting to head off to wherever they need to go off to. Because again, eventually this is going to become quite a busy station. But we're going to start here, and I want that on the bottom track, just so it's easier to keep track of. There we go. And then I also want a train here from the top track to go there. I forgot. I've actually got to put the other line in, haven't I? The passing loop. And I haven't signalled any of this either. Getting a bit ahead of myself here. Where are the signals? There they are. Perfect. Run this down here. Connect in. Signals. I haven't signalled any of this, have I? That's not good at all. So that's a stop, that's a go. There we go. Get the signals in place. Excellent stuff. Get all of this signalled. I knew it would drop a signal there. They always do. There we go. Yes. Can I even actually... Yeah, I can put a spacer in there as well. Good stuff. So let's go back to the rail line again. If I take Karlsruhe out and then put it back in again. There we go. Sorted. And run a Class F. And we'll stick an engineer on there. And you can see he's loading up on a different track. So that's going to make things a bit easier going forward. Task completed.
This unpleasant issue has been resolved. After my quick victory over Austria, other states now have to dance to my tune.
Okay, and there's our quarterly report. Now, you know, as soon as the time starts moving, we're going to get a whole new load of tasks. Let's see what those are going to be.
It is necessary to lay the ground for an all-German state. And here the railroad plays a decisive role. I expect your full cooperation.
Don't you dare set your hand on my private belongings, or I will drag you in front of the highest board of appeals.
Well, sir, that's the way it is. I really don't care about your protest. And what's more, it would be an easy task to simply commandeer your business in the interests of the state. But wouldn't it be more profitable for all sides if we could cooperate peacefully? After all, this is about the state, which is bigger than any single one of us.
Well, what choice do we have? And apparently, even for our business, the new situation offers an interesting point of view. A rail network which tightly sews all German states together is quite fascinating.
All right, there we go. We have completed the first set of tasks. Now we have a bit of a monster pair of tasks, or set of tasks ahead of us. We need to establish an express connection between Berlin and Cologne. I don't even know where those cities are at the moment. Let's go into the build menu so we can pause time and have a look around, see if we can figure out where they are first of all. So Cologne, first of all. I don't even know if we have access to Cologne. We've got Frankfurt, but is Cologne one of our towns? I honestly don't remember. Yes, there's Cologne, so we need to find a connection to Berlin. And my German geography isn't great, so I can't remember exactly where Berlin is, but I believe it's somewhere over here. There's Brandenburg. There's Berlin. Ah, there we go. So I wasn't far off, actually. So we need to get an express connection there. That's going to be interesting. It means we're going to have to move into this territory and then this territory. It's two separate territories, I think. Yeah, that's two separate territories. So we need 1.8 million for the Hanover territory, and then for the Brandenburg territory, we need another 4 million. So we need about 6 million just to buy the territory that we need, or just under. That's a bit expensive. As far as an express connection goes, yeah, we should be able to do that. It could be interesting. What else do we need to do? Secure access to 16 areas. I think there are only 16 areas, aren't there? We have 6 of them, so let's see how many we don't have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's across the top. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, there's more than 16. 13. Oh yeah, there's loads more than 16. Okay. So that's quite a few territories that we still need to buy. That's going to be very expensive. We need to connect 10 cities, each with a population of at least 120,000, and we need to put all of our competitors out of business. Does that mean we can now start buying shares in our competition? Let's see. I think France is at the top. Is it France? Or is it Beat? That's Beat. Okay, so we want to put Beat out of business because she has the route to Berlin, and we want to get rid of her tracks and just take ownership of that area as quickly as possible. So let's start looking. Can we? No, we actually need to buy the territory first before we can start making bids. Okay, that makes sense, I suppose. Let's get that last train done there, the 3B. And we need to start making money as quickly as we can. The first task, the express connection, we've got 3 years to the end of 1859. So we've got 3 years before that task expires. Again, we've already missed the chance to do that in half the time, but you know, it's there. So we need to start making a lot of cash very, very quickly. So we really need to develop these towns that we've just connected up as quickly as we can, I think, because they're going to give us a nice revenue stream. And we'll do that next time out because we're out of time. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more Railway Empire Patchwork scenario for the Germany DLC very soon.